Thank you for letting me chat with you for a few minutes about what I think is one of the historic turning points in American history. And that is the process underway that would destroy Judge Kavanaugh and in the process destroy America. I know those sound like strong words, but there are moments in time when things come together and crystallize and you suddenly realize that you're at a historic moment. I think that's what we're seeing. This isn't just politics as usual. This isn't pleasant game playing. You know, when Senator Booker says that people who support Kavanaugh are in effect supporting evil, you know there's something profoundly wrong. When you have a senator say men should shut up, all men should shut up, you know there's something profoundly divisive. When a senior Democratic congressman who would actually chair a committee if the Democrats took control goes publicly and says, hunt down all the Trump supporters, hunt them down in gas stations, hunt them down in restaurants, drive them from stores, don't let them appear in public, you know something is profoundly wrong. When you watch a very senior Democratic Senator Feinstein conspire, and there's no other word for it, conspire, in a deliberate manipulation of the Senate involving hiding a letter for months, involving hiding the witness for weeks, involving a whole process totally at variance with the Senate rules, and then apparently somebody on her staff leaked the letter to make sure it got into the media so it could become a media firestorm. What you're seeing is a level of resentment and resistance which is astonishing. But we've seen it be building since election night 2016. The fact is, the very defeat of Hillary Clinton and the election of Donald Trump, I think, broke the grip on reality of many, many left-wing Democrats. That's why the day after the inaugural, you have Madonna saying that she dreams about the White House burning down and being destroyed. That's why you have the depth of the effort to desperately find collusion with the Russians, which, by the way, Bob Woodward, after 2 years of investigation, the Washington Post investigative reporter, said this weekend he couldn't find any evidence at all. But it didn't matter. It wasn't about evidence. It was exactly what's happening to Judge Kavanaugh. It was about smearing, undermining, distorting, having character assassination. And this has been going on and on and on. And finally, last week, for the country, it became very, very vivid. And all of a sudden, the American people were able to see straight on, without editing, without distortion, without liberal news media interpretation. They were able to watch a process of a decent man, a father of 2 girls, somebody who had devoted his adult life to helping others, being destroyed by character assassination efforts that were astonishing. And for all those liberals who told us how they worried about bullying, you then watch 2 women bullying Senator Flake in an elevator, just as earlier you had seen a mob go in and try to drive Senator Cruz out of a restaurant. And what you have going on here is a remarkable moment in American history. And it guarantees that this election this fall is not going to be about President Trump. This election is going to be about what kind of America do we want to become. Do we really want to become an America in which left-wing values are imposed by force, by character assassination, by smears? Do we really want to become an America in which our borders are open, fentanyl and opioids can flood into the country, killing even more young Americans? Do we really want to become an America in which there are sanctuary cities for groups like MS-13, a gang which tortures people with knives? Go down the list. I don't think that's the America we want to become. Or do we want to be a results-oriented America, which is what President Trump has been delivering? Even today, in the middle of the character assassination of Judge Kavanaugh, we saw the president successfully deliver a trade negotiation with Canada and Mexico. So on the one side, you're going to have results in a team led by President Trump. On the other side, you're going to have resistance in a team led by Senator Schumer and Speaker Pelosi. That's how big the gap is going to be. I was struck watching all this, and watching particularly the bitterness and the fact that Byron York has written a column this morning pointing out that the Democrats are already shifting. Now that they think they're going to lose on the sexual harassment question. They began to raise questions about whether or not the Judge Kavanaugh was totally honest about how much he drank. And so now they want to open up an entirely new front. There are some Democrats, including Senator Whitehouse of Rhode Island, who said, even if you get confirmed, I'm going to try to find some way to impeach you. I mean, this is an unending war against the American spirit, against the rule of law, against fair play. And apparently on the left, that's not going to stop. So as I was thinking about that, I talked to my good friend, Dr. Alan Guelzo, who's a professor at Gettysburg College, one of the leading authorities on Lincoln and the Civil War. And I was very struck with a quote that Abraham Lincoln made in February 27th, 1860, at Cooper Union. It's a great book on Lincoln and Cooper Union. This was a speech where Lincoln really, for the first time, the country got to see the depth of his thinking. It's a 7,200-word speech. It's outlining the question of slavery and whether or not slavery could be abolished and under what circumstances. And Lincoln personally spent 3 months writing the speech. At one point, having summarized the position of the slave owners, he says the following, and I think it relates directly to the attitude of the totalitarian left, which today threatens democracy and government in America. He says, quote, "Your purpose then, plainly stated, is that you will destroy the government, unless you be allowed to construe and enforce the Constitution as you please on all points in dispute between you and us. You will rule or ruin in all events." Close quote. Let me go back to that last sentence because it's so powerful. The fact is that the Democrats showed us, you could see it in the hearings. They are prepared for rule or ruin. If they have to break the Senate rules, they will. If they have to smear Judge Kavanaugh, they will. If they have to assassinate his character, they will. If they have to drive him out of public office, they will. And any senator who stands up to them risk being trapped in an elevator, driven out of a restaurant, harassed in public, because they will rule or ruin. And that's what this campaign and this election is all about. Do we want to become an America dominated by that kind of people doing those kind of things? Or do we want to focus on results? Do we want to keep creating jobs? Do we want to fix the health system with practical, common sense reforms that guarantee a better future for all Americans? Do we want to strengthen our trade policy as we just did with Mexico and Canada in the last 2 days? Do we want to have the kind of leadership that focuses on giving us a better future, or the kind of leadership that focuses on imposing on us a set of radical values? This question of which America, I think, is the heart of the next 5 weeks. And in the Kavanaugh hearings and the follow-on to the Kavanaugh hearings, as Byron York's article makes clear, the left is showing the ugly face of totalitarianism. They will do whatever they have to. They will break any rule they have to. They will smear any person they have to. So I hope you will decide that you will let your friends know, that you will tag for your friends this particular Facebook Live, and you will let people know this is really a struggle for which America we're going to become, and what kind of country we're going to become, and what kind of a people we're going to be. Thank you for letting me share this.